by applying innovation, we accomplish our goals. This is an amazing accomplishment, and we're going to continue to strive to go there. But it's time to think bigger. It's time to think bigger. We accomplish our goals. This is an amazing accomplishment, and we're going to continue to strive to go there. But it's time to welcome Rise. Now, so many of you are sitting there saying, what the heck are you talking about? I want to tell you what I'm talking about. In 2018, as Rich Wood became CEO, as Truman was transitioning out, we started to look at how the world is shaping up. And we began to think about, in order to carry this legacy forward, this amazing NuSkin forward, how can we accelerate innovation? How can we bring more opportunity? How can we become an even better enterprise that enables you to empower 8 billion people on this planet? We began to invest in businesses, and we had to put them somewhere. And so we created an entity called Rise, an entity that elevates and creates synergistic opportunity for the world. And this innovation, we began with manufacturing, which, by the way, during COVID saved the NuSkin business. Without that business, we wouldn't have had products when COVID shut our supply chain down for nearly 2 years. We began to invest in technologies that would empower our apps. We began to invest in companies that had new science. We created a new organization called Rise Labs that powers product innovation that you'll even hear about today. This accelerant to our business was created at that time to power innovation behind the scenes. Some of you are familiar with Google, a small company called Google out of the Bay Area. Have you heard of them? Within Google, there's a company called Google X. Have you heard of Google X?
Yeah.
Raise your hand. Sorry, I can't see. I think I've put everyone to sleep. I got to pick it up. I'll hurry. Google X is an innovation hub where they create things such as autonomous driving vehicles. Amazing innovations. Rise is our Google X. It's how do we create new innovations that we can then bring to market. So I want to talk about a couple of those innovations over the next few minutes, and then I'll get out of your way so you can actually have an entertaining presenter up here, okay? So stick with me for 5 minutes. So let's start and think about the first innovation that's coming our way, that's going to accelerate our business and the business that we are today into something that will be dramatically bigger, 5x, 10x, 20x the size that we are today. It's time to slow down. The world is becoming more and more complex, more and more crowded, more and more congested. And what's coming with that is a clouded mind, a clouded space, increasing brain power that's struggling, that's causing sleep challenges, causing acuity, mental acuity, and the like. Through our Rise Labs, led by Steve Hatchett, we found new science and new innovation that we're going to bring to market. Do you feel that? Kyle, do you feel that, man? We take a moment to slow down, to breathe. What happens, Julie? We become centered. We become calm. All the congestion, all the confusion, all the mental cloud goes away. I am so excited about Mind 360. We have been waiting for this product, at least for me, my entire adult life. This product is going to change, or this division, I believe, is going to change the cognitive health of the world. We've named this product. Yeah, let's go. Give it a round of applause. We named this product Mind 360 because this is a holistic approach to improving the cognitive health of every human being. As our lives become more busy, anxiety increases, kids yelling, bills to pay, errands to run, jobs to keep, parents to care for, the congestion in life builds up. And as that congestion in life builds up and the anxiety increases, our sleep starts to shrink, right? How many of you slept well last night? Good. Good for you, Abby. Because I only sleep well because of mine. And as that sleep shortens, we wake up in the morning and what are we? We're foggy. Our brains are foggy. We're not clear. And a foggy brain creates what? More confusion, more lack of clarity, more anxiety that produces lack of sleep, that causes us to be foggy in the morning, that causes more anxiety, more confusion, and the cycle goes on and on and on. Mind 360 has been built to break that cycle. It is a holistic approach to cognitive health that's going to change this world. I'm so excited for you to hear from Steve Hatchett, Dr. Joe Chang, and Helen Nags this afternoon at our product session to hear more about it. Are you excited? Yeah. Okay, so that's what Rise Labs brought us. Let's do a couple of more innovations. Project Helix is underway. How many of you have read The Aging Myth by Dr. Joe Chang, written in 2008? Have you read it? Dr. Joe Chang, a New York Times best-selling author and happens to be our chief science officer, wrote a book around the aging myth, around the effects of our DNA on the way we live and our overall health. We have been pursuing that mission for well over a decade now. And through a partnership with our sister company in Rise Labs called Life DNA, we have found the next turn of that opportunity, the next advancement to age lock. And we'll be introducing this next innovation that we call Project Helix over the next 2 years. Now, some of you are probably saying, Ryan, what is that? And I say, come to Live next year and I'll tell you. You might hear a little bit of this from Steve Hatchett and Dr. Joe Chang later. So that's the second innovation coming to market, powered by Rise. Third innovation coming to market, and this is for the U.S. sales force, is NuSkin, powered by Maybelline. Now, there's been a lot of industry consternation. And when I say industry, I mean direct selling consternation of companies exiting direct selling in favor of doing other types of businesses, affiliate marketing businesses, direct-to-consumer businesses, all kinds of confusion around that. And I find myself baffled with this. In fact, with the most recent announcement by one company, it caused a pretty big stir, even within our own sales force. And I immediately felt compelled to go onto social media and post the power of partnership, which is the power of partnership is all about the origin of this company. How do you create the world's best products and opportunity and an amazing culture powered by people who share that? Why is that a binary choice that you have to choose one or the other? How can those come together and be together? Well, we already have our affiliate opportunity platform and it's sitting in these seats. But the question is, how do we empower you with better tools, better capabilities to share the products you love on social media in a simple, fast, and easy way. That's what we're bringing to you. And in doing so, we will unlock thousands of other brands that you never thought before could be part of your business. So through this partnership with NuSkin and Mabley, we will be launching an app in the second half of this year. And I will call it a beta launch because this is going to be fantastic. And those of you in the US will get it first, and we will take that around the globe to power more and more people to do this business simple, fast, and easy. Does that sound good?
Yes.
I am so excited about this innovation and how it will accelerate your business and accelerate our ability to build out the world's leading beauty, wellness, and lifestyle ecosystem. Maybe we have a couple of more things going on here. I am sick and tired of seeing companies, because we play in the beauty and wellness space, right? And we see all these new devices coming out, and I won't name the names, but you know them because you can Google them. If you type in LumaSpa today into Google, what you'll see is it's not LumaSpa that pulls up. You'll see other devices that are using NuSkin's keyword searches, and they're building hundreds of millions of dollars and even billions of dollars of revenue on NuSkin's brand. On the hard work of all of you in creating awareness, these brands are capitalizing on that on us. This is no more. NuSkin will own its brand and own our brand wherever customers go to find us. We will not allow companies to go build $100 million businesses off of our trademarks, our IP, and our business. We are taking ownership of our brand. Justin will be talking more with you about that, but I'm so determined to never again see another brand attempt to make a claim like, no, we're the #1 beauty device. Because they're not. We work damn hard to get to #1, and we're not going to let that go. You know what? Okay, a couple other things and I'll get off stage. We've talked a lot today about all of those things that we are right now. NuSkin is in 48 markets around the world. 48. That's roughly 20% of the world's countries where NuSkin exists today. The inverse of that is we don't exist in 80% of the countries where NuSkin should exist to change people's lives. We announced India as our next market opportunity. I can tell you, I've been over there myself as much as my, what's this called? My intestinal tract doesn't like me going.
Thank you, Bio.
Thank you. I'll take new biome. Okay, anyways, that's a different conversation. I am so excited about the opportunities ahead of us as we rethink the way we approach the rest of the world to bring opportunity to people all around the world. When I think about Latin America, where's our Latino group here? I'll do this again. Ole, 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 Latin. Ole, 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 Latin. Latin. If you ever want to see the fighting spirit of NuSkin, go to a meeting down in Latin America. These people have more passion and ambition in their pinky than I have in my entire being. They are so committed to this mission. They're committed to working their tails off. They're committed to doing whatever it takes. And we need to support them. You're going to be hearing about, over the course of the next little while, Justin will talk about this, of how we are rethinking and reimagining the way we approach the rest of the world. How do we create products at the right prices to enable the other 6 billion people on the planet to participate in NuSkin? How do we create an earnings opportunity for people that live on $2 a day? $2 a day. How many of you have sold one product today and made a sharing bonus more than $2? I hope every single hand goes up. If not, let's get to work. We have an opportunity and an obligation to take NuSkin to the rest of the world. I hope you feel how deeply this is rooted inside of me. And I hope it's deeply rooted inside of every single one of us. If we believe in our mission to be a global force for good, we will do whatever it takes to give this opportunity to every single person on this planet. Now imagine what we can do together. When we see today we're in 48 markets, 5 of which have hit $100 million scale or more, only 5. And we apply that 5 to 50. And we apply that 50 to 200 countries around the globe. How big will NuSkin be when we do that? We will be the world's largest and leading beauty and wellness lifestyle ecosystem. That's how large we will be. If our ambition is not set at that level, we need to rethink the way we approach life. And I don't mean that lightly. If we're not thinking about the greatest need that this world has and solve that need, we are wasting our time on this planet, in my humble opinion. We have an opportunity to change the world, and it's time to do it. You are our affiliate opportunity platform. You are the people that will make this happen. This doesn't happen without you. This doesn't happen by the company coming up with an amazing product line or an amazing incentive and putting it out there. It's all about how do you take these things and change the lives of others, one human being at a time. So in closing, I'm going to share a couple of thoughts, and you're going to hear more from our founders about the force for good. As we were in Dubai, Abu Dhabi and Dubai with our team of leads a few months ago, one of our discussions centered around what's missing lately, Ryan. You're CEO for the last 2 years, and we think something's missing. We don't hear enough about the force for good. We don't talk enough about the heart of this company. Blake Roney always says, while it might be 5% of what we do, it's 95% of who we are. And Ryan, you don't ever talk about it. And it was interesting because I felt like it's kind of the languages of love. I'm like, no. I've been talking about it all the time because I talk about being a force for good by empowering people to improve lives. That's our mission. And they say, yeah, but Ryan, what about all the children we feed? What about the heart surgeries that save 20, 30,000 children every single, for their lifetime? The smiles that we fix, the cleft palate fix, the 850 million meals, the 100,000 children fed every single day. We've got to talk more about it. We've got to wear it like a badge of honor on our shoulder. Listen, I want to give you guys the biggest compliment ever, which is that this year we've fed 850 million people together. 850 million meals, excuse me. I'm going to get a legal action. 850 million meals with 100,000 children fed every single day because of you. And because of me, because I can be a chief ambassador too. This is the one area we allow employees to participate in growing the business. I am going to ask you all today, every single one of you, if this is your first event, I don't care. Become an ambassador of Nurse the Children. Become a part of a movement that is literally saving countries like Malawi, that is literally helping countries like China when there's disasters hitting, that's helping people in Latin America when an earthquake hits, that's helping in a tsunami hitting in Japan. Nurse the Children is a global program that swoops in when people can't feed themselves. Become an ambassador. Sign up today. And let's hit 1 billion meals before our next live event. You committed?
Yes.
Okay, we'll talk more about that later. I'm going to wrap up. My family lived in Japan for 10 years. And there was a concept in Japan. In fact, where's our Japanese? Nihonjin. Ohayou gozaimasu. Genki desu ka? Subarashi. Let's go. We lived in Japan for 10 years. And while I was in Japan, I heard something. Now I know. There was a concept that we became familiar with called ikigai. Raise your hand if you've heard of ikigai. Ikigai, life's purpose. It's a beautiful concept. It's a beautiful life concept. The term ikigai means, what is your life's purpose? And it's made up of four things. What do we love? What does the world need? What are we good at? And then how can we make a living doing that? What do we love? What does the world need? What are we good at? And how can we make a living doing it? What do we love? What do we need? What are we good at? And how can we make money? Does that sound familiar? It's NuSkin. The punchline is NuSkin. For 40 years, NuSkin has been all about helping people to discover your best self. The world needs what we have. People all around us need what we have, but we're too bashful to talk about them. We're not bold enough to talk about the ikigai that each of us understand to be a solution for what I believe the planet in peace and prosperity. How do we become evangelists if we're hiding it under our jacket? It's time for us to stand bold and to take this to the world. This is your life. You only have one shot on this earth. Let's make it meaningful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all that you do. I want you to know, those of you that came here for the first time, you made the decision that will change your life today. Let's stay attentive throughout the whole meeting. Remember, ambition, aspiration, activation, ambition, aspiration, activation. This meeting is all about ambition and helping you to see something bigger in your life, aspiration to drive towards it, and the activation of the specific actions you need to take. That's what you're going to get over the next 48 hours. So sit up, pay attention, and let's have fun together. I love you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. No? Okay, okay. Listen, I talk way too much. I'm more excited moving forward for you to hear from a couple of amazing people. And these people are living the mission that we just talked about. They are living and realizing they are ikigai in life. So I'm going to introduce the two of these people and tell you a little bit about them. They're going to come out here and they're going to tell their own stories. Rebecca Farr being our first one. Rebecca is an amazing, amazing leader. The thing that I admire most about her, not her D1 athlete capability, although I envy that. It's not the beautiful family that she's created and the life that she's building for herself that I'm most impressed about with Rebecca. Rebecca's power is in personal reinvention. Rebecca was in this business for several years, struggling and struggling and struggling to do it the way that NuSkin had always been done. The way that her uplines and her uplines and the uplines of those people all the way back to the founding of the company. And Rebecca sat there and thought, this isn't working for me. And she had to rethink her way of doing business from the ground up. Like Tiger Woods has to rebuild his golf swing. That's what she did, all the way to the foundation. And since that time, Rebecca has become an unbelievable leader for us. An 8-year team elite, Circle of Excellence 2 achiever, and a 3-year team elite platinum. By reimagining and rethinking from the ground up how to achieve success, she accomplished that goal. So you're going to hear from her first. And the second person that I want you to hear from is a great friend of mine who's become a very dear friend of mine in the last several months, Charlie Patterson. Now, again, and by the way, you don't have to be a D1 athlete to be on the stage because I'm here. Charlie was also a D1 athlete, happened to go to a small school that's known by Nike up in Oregon, doing track. Became a pro wakeboarder. Unbelievable fitness. By the way, he had a little bicep tear a little while ago. And through Charlie's business throughout his years, he's had to reinvent himself over and over and over again. And I'm watching him do it yet again. It's like a caterpillar that keeps metamorphosizing, if that's a word, into a new butterfly again and again. Don't ever tell Charlie that I called him a butterfly. I'll get punched in the mouth. Over the years, Charlie, 18 years team elite, Circle of Excellence 2, and a one-time platinum elite. You're going to hear from Charlie about what it means to be all in. So here's what I want to do. I want rock star welcomes for every speaker that comes up throughout the day. Rock star welcomes. Are we ready to welcome these two on stage? Let's go. Rebecca, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you very much.
My gosh. Wow. Let me catch my breath for a second. This is a goal board moment. Make sure you write down your goals and share them. But it is such an honor to be here, and I'm already choked up, and that's just not me. So this is gonna be awesome. But I know Ryan asked this, but I didn't get to see. So who here is attending their very first NuSkin event ever? Let's hear you. Wow. I'm so excited for you. I'm going to introduce myself real fast. I'm Rebecca Fair. I live in Oklahoma, the middle part of the United States. I live there with my husband, our 1-year-old son, Connor, and our 2 dogs. And I have been with NuSkin 12 years as of next month, which is crazy to believe it's already been that long. But I get to walk you briefly through my story and what that means and how it wraps together with being all in and embracing the future, because I wouldn't be here if I had not embraced that many years ago and actually ongoing throughout the years. So first of all, I want some participation. Who here, raise your hand if you love change, like you hear change is coming, like it excites you. Oh, that's more people than I thought. Well, awesome. Put your hands down. If you're someone that hears something new is coming in the world, it makes you a little anxious, a little nervous, raise your hand if you're that type. Well, that's me. I am such a routine person. I'm like, give me a good routine, I will follow it to a T. But you know, I've just learned in life, you're not going to grow, you're not going to move forward if you stay stuck in that place forever. And so you might sit here and say, great, she's been with NuSkin 12 years, 8 years as a team elite now, 3 years as a platinum team elite. That's just not my story though. And you know what? I said the exact same thing. I saw Paige somewhere yesterday. I remember hearing Paige Riffle share her story, and I had that exact thought. But what I've seen over my 12 years is I've seen my business work on cycles, and about every 4 years, it has caused the need to adapt to the current times, the current trends, the current you. So, like I said, I would not be here today if I had not found a way to embrace that. So I want to break it down for you, and we're going to just jump right in. I started in 2012. I was fresh out of college. My first 4 years to about 2016, maybe they're going to relate to somebody out there. But I just want it really clear before I jump into it. I was all in NuSkin from very early on. I had some successes during those years, and they were gone almost immediately. And that may be the relatable piece to some people out there. I earned a few success trips. I actually achieved Blue Diamond, but I had no leadership creation on my team. And I felt so defeated. I really did. Like I was doing it all. I was coachable. I was showing up to events, but that is what I felt like. And at the same time, we started hearing about something revolutionary taking place over in the UK. I know some of our friends are here from the UK. I hear you. You guys started all of it. Truthfully, I was not open because, again, change makes me a little nervous when I first hear about it. And for almost a year, I watched it happening and succeeding and thriving over there. And I reached my point that I needed to make a choice. And I really break it down to, I think there's 3 choices on the table when you reach that point. Number 1 is you can throw a pity party and quit, which to me was never an option. Number 2 is you can stay where you are. And ultimately, I believe that choice, you will shrink eventually. The third one is you can learn to adapt while staying true to your core and your principles. You don't sacrifice those even when you're adapting. So I was at a place I couldn't ignore that need anymore. And that if I was truly all in, I had to move forward in a new direction. And so some of you know, I love listening to Ed Milet's podcast. And one of the things he shares is that a key to success he has seen as a trend in many successful people is the decisive factor. Is that you make a choice and you take action. You can't wait forever. So maybe you've been in that place of, do I go, do I not? And eventually you have to take the action. And so then began my next 4-year cycle, 2016 to 2020. We adapted and leaders started creating, and some of them are right here. Abby, Ginger, Laura, Allie, Lizzie, Kimberly, Kaylee. I mean, so many names. I could keep going the whole length of time I have. They showed up during this period. And it didn't mean that we adapted and the next day they all appeared, or even the next week or the next month. But when you're all in and you make that choice, you don't look backwards, you move forward no matter what. And you're there for the entire length of time it takes to get there. And we worked together and we grew and we were all in. And so then came 2020 to 2024, the next 4-year cycle. We all know 2020 was a little crazy, right? There was a lot out of our control during that time period. And again, we were faced with choices, the same 3 choices. Say it was a good ride, and that's that. We could stay the same and ultimately shrink back, or we could pivot. And we chose to pivot. And that actually became one of our key words of the year for our organization was, okay, pivot. And it seemed like the next day we were pivoting again, but we boomed during that. And from that, and another huge wave came in. Case in point, the last in-person Team Elite trip had been to Monaco. It had just been myself and my team with my coaches, and we got to experience that. The next in-person Team Elite trip, there were 20 of us from my team in London together. That did not just happen. It was because we chose to be all in, which is not comfortable, you guys. I mean, the odds can be stacked against you. The world's going crazy, and they might be valid reasons why not, but you don't have to allow them to be an excuse either. We could have said, no, we're going to stick with what we started with in 2016 and we're going to ride or die by it, but we didn't. Because in life and in business over the long haul, that's just not possible. So now we're here in 2024, 4 years later. We've had a period of change. People coming in and out. And you know what? We started evolving again and we're seeing the boom. We're seeing it month after month, the growth starting to happen again. And it's exciting. But what I want you to learn from this is social selling, NuSkin, the world, and you in 2024 is not who you were in 2020 or 2016 or whenever. You're different, right? I mean, I was unmarried and didn't have a kid. And now I'm married and I'm a mom from when I started. So why do I share all of this? What I want you to take from it is if you're all in, you're all in. But there's no option to not adapt if you see yourself in the future. So I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. Why are you all in? And number 2, who are you all in for? I'm all in for my family and for our future and our legacy. And I'm also in for all the families that I get to help too, which includes all of you and many more to come. There are 2 parts that you can control in these kind of times. And in this choice to embrace future, you get to decide And you can do that today if you've never done it before, or you haven't done it lately. And the second one is you take action. And you take action every day. It's a choice to be disciplined to your commitments. Change is never easy, but it is worth it. And if you're all in for the whole journey and everything that comes with it, it's a no matter what mentality. I believe our best days are ahead of us, individually and together collectively. Even as great as some seasons have been, I believe there is abundance and greater opportunity still in front of us. And if you're all in with me for that, I want you to stand up as I come to a close. I want you to hear this. I believe in each one of you. I believe in each one of you. Because I believe in a God of abundance that uniquely called every single one of us to a purpose, to be a force for good in this world, that there is nothing too great for you if you decide to be all in and you act on that decision. My last thing is I want you to feel empowered in that. I want you to be bold and be proud and filled with the faith and belief in yourself and where we are together, that when you go all in and take that action, our future is bright together. And so it's no more waiting. It's time to decide and take the action, and then we move forward. And we're moving forward together like never before. The 40 years before have been great. The next 40 years are greater. And if you're with me, let's hear it.
My songs, my single day. What's up? This is Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and get on your feet for Kimberly, Charlie Patterson. Charlie Steve.
Good morning. Wow, great crowd. Way better out here than it is back there. I'm Charlie Patterson from Sisters, Oregon. 20 years ago, on February 1st, 2004, I created my brand affiliate position with the intention of being a blue diamond by the end of that year. 2 weeks later, following that decision, I was given direction to attend every corporate event with guests, and I attended my first NuSkin global convention. It was at that first event that I heard Claire McDermott say that 5% of the attending would go to the top of the company. Who is in control of whether I am the 5% that goes to the top and creates success, or I am not the 95% that quit?
You.
I am. I realized I'd found my home and my chosen family, that I would share this journey together And then I decided that I would not only be the 5% that would continue, but that I would be the 1% that would go to Team Elite. The moment I made that decision that I would be Blue Diamonds, by the end of that year, all of the necessary obstacles and challenges started to come my way. They started to present themselves. They were required for me to grow to become the leader that I desired, to earn that title. I was all in on whatever it took for this vision to be realized. This was not the first time that I would see a vision so clearly in my future that it would leave me feeling a sense of fear of loss, leading me to ask myself, like, what if I didn't follow this vision? Leading me to say, I wish that I would have, and regretting that for the rest of my life. 10 years earlier, I followed a vision of wakeboarding that I saw it so clearly that I saw myself in that picture, that I would become a professional wakeboarder. And that vision, following that vision, led me here to this moment in 2004. To decide homicide, pesticide, suicide, herbicide. What do all of these words have in common? Death. No, I'm not morbid. But to decide is to cut off, to sever, to remove every other option. Death to all other options. I work together with my senior partners, the company, my team, to realize my NuSkin vision and so much more. I entertained no other options. This was my path forward. NuSkin was my home for the rest of my life. 13 years later, we were pregnant twice in 2017. First with our son Holden, who passed at 22 weeks into the pregnancy. We soon learned how common this experience was. And just as my wife and I had done so many times before, with all of the obstacles and all the challenges and unforeseen events that had happened in our life, we chose to see Holden's passing on the way. That it was happening for us, not to us. That it was exactly what was meant to happen for us to realize our futures, our future vision. On June 30th, 2017, just a couple months later, we were pregnant again. This time, with 4 children at one time. We were told that we would go from 1 child to 5 children in the next 5 months.
I always knew I wanted kids. Hopefully in the future, I'll show them sleep tape. My kids. Doesn't that sound weird? But when I lost my mom, I lost the dream. And it came back when I met Charlie.
Anything you want to say to our little nuggets?
Don't worry, Mommy and Daddy are very safe and we'll still have you. First, me and Charlie was. And then we got pregnant with Holden. He was the partner. But he made him for something miraculous.
Wow.
Wow. I was pregnant. Wow, you can see them all.
Yeah.
with quadruplets.
A, B, C, D.
Can my body handle?
We have a single person, so they can't.
So I'm still not completely freaking out, but you can't have 4. You can have 2. But you can't have 4.
Still a high risk of mortality. And so to survive, they survive with long-term handicaps.
A lot of the quads and triplets, they deliver. Like, if you are going to ask me what to do, you do different. But I had a dream, a real dream. And they were all alive. So I found a doctor with the same vision. Do you really want to keep all 4?
If she believes she can do 4, we can do 4. Everything that we've ever done in our lives has always been against the odds and bigger than life. And we've always championed it. Everything.
Being admitted into the sand among the county.
Summer space. Like super lungs.
Nemo, guess what God has given you for your birthday?
Huh?
4 brothers and sisters.
And a king?
But God is going to give you 3 little brothers and a sister today for your birthday.
For your birthday.
What do you think about that?
Who did?
How are you doing? In process, that's okay. See the other side of this. All right, here's the candies. Okay, right here we go.
You guys saw the baby.
I'm most happy with you know. It's so easy when you can see you're right. You're right.
We focused on our family of 7, playing together in the water just as my wife had dreamed. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. My wife had a vision of our entire family playing together in the water. She chose to see that vision as a sign that we were meant to move forward against the odds, against the naysayers, against the 3 doctors that told us that we should reduce to 2 children from 4. We believed that this was divine, that we were given 4 children by God on purpose. We, Christy, Charlie Rose, and myself, and our unborn children were in this all together. We controlled our environment, removing all negativity, removing all fear, and anyone that was operating from fear was not allowed in our circle. We controlled our thoughts, and we focused on the outcome that we desired. We shared our vision and the intentional outcome with the masses, asking for everyone around the world that was connected to us to focus on the birth of 4 healthy babies and a healthy mother in January of 2018. Meaning that my wife would go full term for triplets, a month longer than quadruplets. And on January 6th, my oldest daughter's 3rd birthday, those 4 children came to this world healthy. 1 wife, 2 births, 1 birthday. 5 children. Several years ago, I had a personal vision of NuSkin exceeding 5 billion in annual sales. I don't know exactly when this is going to happen. I just know that it's going to happen. By working together, we can mature every one of our markets far beyond what they have ever done before to realize this vision. And with this achievement, each and every one of us have the ability to realize our own goals, that all ships rise with the tide. By helping others get what they want, we get closer to what we want. We create our beliefs by what we tell ourselves and what we tell others. So what are you saying to yourself? What are you telling others? Imagine every one of your dreams and your goals being realized. What is that feeling? What do you feel when you go to that place in the future that it is done? What does it feel like? Feel it right now as it is done. Operate moving forward with that feeling that it is done. That you're in the moment of its creation. Focus on that feeling moving forward through every action. Through this event and every event, when you leave here, as Ryan said and Rebecca said, that you take action and you integrate what you have learned over the next 48 hours. I want to lock in this vision of us being and exceeding 5 billion and every market doing record numbers. And you, your teams, your future leaders realizing every one of your goals. I want to elevate our emotions with excitement and aligning around one common vision of being all in and achieving our goals. I'm going to say we are. You're going to say all in. Can we do this? We have to do it with excitement. We have to do it with energy. We have to feel our goals realized, done now, that it has already happened. It's already in motion. Can you do this? Yes. We'll see. We are. All right, get on your feet. Get on your feet. We're going to do this again. And we're going to do it again and again until we get it. Until you feel that every one of your goals is done. Get off. You are on the way. On the way. We are. We are. We are.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage NuSkin's Chief Executive Officer, Ryan Napierski.
How was that? Was that not unbelievable? Listen, I wasn't sure before I heard the last two speakers whether I was all in or not. But I hope by now you know I'm committed. Okay, let's keep the show going. And first of all, I'm going to apologize to every single one of you. I went 15 minutes too long. And I do that every single time, and that's not respecting your time. I'm going to be sharper. So I promise you, before I die, at 125, I will get this down. Okay, I am so excited about the next. I'm honored about the next group of speakers I get to bring out. This company was founded in 1984 by three young, ambitious people that look like many of you sitting in this audience. The desire to build something new based on some founding principles, all of the good, none of the bad, being a force for good and empowering people to improve lives. Founders of this company, Blake Roney, Sandy Tillotson, and Steve Lund have shaped this business from the very beginning, and they continue to shape this business. So we get the distinct privilege of having a sit down with the founders of this company and ask them a few questions. Are you ready to do that? So ladies and gentlemen, let's give a rock star welcome to Blake Roney, Sandy Tillotson, and Steve Lund. Huh? Have a seat. Have a seat. We got a problem.
What is that problem?
Oh,
Blake back there, is he doing his makeup?
yeah, well, actually, Blake, so sorry he couldn't be here, but he was on a very, very special secret mission, which is no longer a secret. Let's take a look.
The International Olympic Committee has the honor to announce that the 27th Olympic Winter Games 2034 are awarded to Salt Lake City.
Officially coming to Utah in 2034.
Winter Games will be in Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City will host the Winter Games in 2034.
Olympic Committee selected Salt Lake City, Utah.
Salt Lake City, Utah. What?
Oh, official.
Officially hosting the 2034 Winter Olympic Games.
Ladies and gentlemen, Blake Roney single-handedly brought the Olympics back to Salt Lake City since 2002 for 2034. That's where Blake is, I guess.
Right, he was there to help accept Salt Lake City accept it.
Blake is unbelievable, and it did put it past him to accomplish something, bringing the Olympics back so soon after NuSkin. I was a young sapling at the time. Basically brought the Olympics the first time. Steve, what's going on?
Blake actually still thinks he's a contender in ice skating. Thinks he still got it.
I thought it was curling.
He's gonna get it. So we're gonna hear a little bit later from Blake, because he literally, as he planned to be here and we were prepping for this, the governor called him and asked him to go with him to France to push the bid through. And of course, Blake being that, absolutely. So he and Nancy jumped on a plane to go there. He was sent a very amazing message that I'm excited to show you in proper Blake fashion. We've had to edit it 5 times. And I think we now have it at a point that's going to work perfectly. So I get the distinct honor to sit with Sandy Tillotson, with Steve Lund, and ask you a few really important questions. So are you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So you all are sitting in this audience today, looking out amongst these amazing, beautiful people in 40 years of what you've built.
They are amazing.
Parents and now grandparents and maybe great-grandparents of the people sitting in this audience, because I saw some babies sitting there. How are you feeling about this? What kind of pride, what kind of feelings are you having? Let's maybe ask Steve first.
Well, I guess it'd be rude to say I'm not proud of this. That would be silly. NuSkin has always been about people. I mean, this is one of the original influencer companies, and that it was built around this notion that you're more likely to go to a movie because somebody you know and trust and respect said it was a good movie, than you are by watching some commercial on TV. It just, that influencer model has been what has caused us to grow. And so now look at the influence that, how that early influence has spread to the world, and it results in the highest caliber sales force in the history of the world.
Well, and we've always considered, you know, we have families, we have big families, grandparents, we're grandparents now. We were parents then, and we've always treated our community like our family. And I hope that you feel that way, because, you know, even the event, you know, come home. We're coming home to your corporate home, to another place where you can feel warmth and community. And that was one of the major things that I missed when the other marketing opportunity that I was involved with went away, was the community. And to be able to build another community, and one that we can be so proud of, because we are a force for good. We could see that yesterday. Wasn't that amazing to look over in that room and see the participation in our force for good? Every single one of you, and my son was there with my son and daughter-in-law, my grandkids. It was such a moving experience for me to see an idea and it develop into a community that's doing good.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so next question for you both. The theme, all in. What does that mean to you?
Well, I'm going to say that from the very beginning of NuSkin, the very day NuSkin happened, I was all in. And I really haven't gone away, and it's been 40 years. So that's 40 years of being all in. I'm very practiced at it, and I really like how it makes me feel, because there's no distractions when you're all in. When you're all in, you're all in. You know, everything, bombs could be going off around you, but you are focused on what you need to accomplish to make your own goals and dreams come true. And then in turn, empower others. How about you, Steve?
I guess no significant thing ever happened in this world without significant energy. We don't do great things because they're our hobbies or because we have an interest in them. We do great things because we throw ourselves into them. And so to make a business like this work, if we're really going to be the kind of power for good that we have it in us to be as a community and as families and as individuals, it requires passion. It requires our very best efforts. And I guess the thing that always redounds to my spirit in rooms like this is a sense that what we're doing here truly is worthy of our best efforts.
What do we say though? So Sandy, you said for 40 years you've been doing this thing, right? Now, I'm only 2.5 years into CEO. And they're
I was never CEO. That's a really hard job.
Okay, yeah, you were the founder, which is harder. So I at least have products. I at least have a website that I keep screwing up. But no, you do it for that long. And I look out across the audience and we have some people that have been doing it together for nearly that long. And it gets tiring and it gets exhausting. And when you get knocked down and you get back up, you do that for, and then the company or the regulations hit us or the company hits us with whatever it is, the problem after problem after problem. How do you stay all in when those things hit us?
Because I care about the people I serve. And I think we all care about the people that we've helped into this business. And they look at you as an example of how to live their life for my case, in the future. Because so many people that are in this business right now weren't even born weird when we started NuSkin.
There's an interesting phenomenon that's going on in the world today. A few years ago, somebody started a class, I think it started at Harvard, called The Science of Happiness.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then like 2/3 of the student body signed up for that class. Because in this very comfortable environment that we live in, where we're not really scrapping for, wondering where our next meal is going to come from. the people are turning to, well, I have everything I need and I'm still not happy. So what does it take to be happy? But what those classes teach and what the research shows is that people find happiness in meaning, in purpose. People who have purposeful lives don't have happy lives. They can have full lives, but they don't find enjoyment in the things they do. And so the wonderful thing about this business is that we're in it together for each other. And because we're about doing good things, and I'm talking about the Force for Good campaign, but I'm talking about everything else you do, great products, great people, a great opportunity, and bringing the best out in people's lives is a great way to make a living, and it's a great way to make a life.
I love that. I love that. Isn't that amazing? So it reminds me, you know, I had our team elite stand up earlier today. I won't have you stand up again, but if you start falling asleep, Sean, I'm going to have you stand up. And we were meeting last night until 10:30. I don't know what time it was, Laura. It was like 10:30, 11. And you know what? My eyes were starting to like glass over. And I thought the makeup artist can only do so much, you know? And they would have stayed all night talking about this business, passion for this business, the struggles, the challenges. What I love is the partnership that I feel every time I sit with these folks who feel the same way. Doesn't matter how long they've been in this business. The reality is they don't need to do this any longer. You don't need to do this any longer, right? Financially, it's not about that anymore. It's about this purpose, this mission. So I love that. And thank you, Team Elite. Thank you for our partnership over the years. It's not easy. I get it. And all of that. So, okay, next question. We've talked a lot about innovation, right? And we've talked about the challenges of a perpetual need to innovate while at the same time not losing our core, our center, our foundation, because innovation, one can find themselves 50 miles away if we don't perpetually look back to see what that foundation is, and we might be completely chartered off course or uncharted off the course we set. How do we continue to innovate? It's in our DNA. I hear this all the time from you all.
Well,
How do we
it's
do that?
in our DNA because when we first started NuSkin, the other skincare stuff was really bad. It had mineral oil, it had harmful alcohols in it, it had bad waxes. Yeah, so we were the first company to put all of the good ingredients and getting rid of that mineral oil as the basic ingredient. And we were the very first company to add a humectant, and we did that in 1984. We've always been innovating. Innovating is what keeps us fresh, what keeps us new, but it's also change and it can be a little scary. So you've just got to go with innovation because innovation is now some of our innovations. Yeah, they might have been a little bit of a flop. We're not perfect. We can make mistakes, but we are always striving to provide you with the best products and opportunity in the world.
And in fact, Sandy, you used the word scary, and that is actually a perfect intro for the clip Blake actually sent us. And so let's play that and listen to Blake talk a little bit about innovation and the scariness of business.
Hello. I've always wanted a movie depicting how business looks from the outside versus how it looks from the inside. From the outside, you see a guy kiss his family goodbye and go climb in their car. So they drive down comfortably listening to music, climb out of their car, walk into the building, then they eat, they rest a little bit at their desk more, and then they go out to their car and get in, close the door, and drive home. They get home and they've had a lovely day. And that's how it looks to people. There's a different version, and it's how it would look from the inside. That one would look different. They get down to work, they open their door and start walking into the building, and the world comes unglued. A ninja jumps out from the ceiling and starts to attack them. And they fight their way to the door and close the door to block the ninja. And as they're working their way through the hallways, there are snakes trying to attack them. And they're chopping their heads off with machetes. And then they run for the elevator and dive in, and it gets up. And when it opens, the building is on fire. And they're trying to get the fire out. And the whole day runs like that. They fight all day long. There are lasers coming in from the government out one window while they're trying to put the fire out. Business is hard. It rains a lot. Everyone runs for shelter when it rains, except NuSkin. We have a history of dancing in the rain. We have a tendency when everyone else is panicking and running around doing things, we problem solve, we pray and worry and find solutions to things, and we innovate. We have a long history of innovation. NuSkin makes people look and feel younger. Our foundation is helping you to help others. You help them with the products substantially. You help them build their own small business. You help them with your success. We've helped people all over the world, and amazing numbers of people all over the world. That's what puts us in business. But our endurance and our growth is from innovation. The world changes regularly, and we have to do this all again over and over. Change is hard all the time. Nobody wants anything to change, but the world changes, and we have to buckle up and face it. You see it in our history. You see it in our present day, and you'll see it in our future. Go back to our beginnings. There were no cell phones when we started. It's pretty amazing everything that's changed over the years, but somehow we've come out of it with a growth mode, with the ability to help you to help more people. And that's what we'll be doing tomorrow too. We've seen year after year, we've had to adjust this and adjust that and pivot and change. And constantly we're able to help more people and make a bigger difference in the world. And that's always been our goal. We are finding ways as we speak to adjust for tomorrow. More things will happen today and more things will happen tomorrow, and we'll keep adjusting. And change is always hard, but then magic happens, and magic is going to happen tomorrow. I'm very confident in our future that we'll continue from a really an amazing place where we've been. You know, the number of meals we've provided in Africa and all the things that you could point out, and the number of lives that have been improved. I'm sure that it'll be a much larger number in the future. And I do see some of the things that are being worked on right now that are really exciting and really fun. So our future is going to be just as magical as our past has been. I'm completely confident. Thank you for all the good that you've done. It's been extraordinary. Thank you for all the good that you'll get to do tomorrow, even though constantly the format will change a little bit in order to police governments, in order to use new technology, in order to solve today's problems. We're grateful for your tenacity, the things that you've done, and you'll get to do lots more in the future. Thank you.
So Blake just has a way of saying things. Steve, what's your reaction to that?
I am so glad that I don't live inside of Blake's head. Because he lives in a scary world. Yeah. But he paints the picture pretty well, isn't it? That NuSkin business doesn't exist on a beach, on a placid ocean with sailboats. We live on a river, we're in a river, and there are cataracts, and that river of time takes us through change again and again and again. And the secret of the success of this company is that the collective genius of the folks in this room and beyond has allowed us to reinvent ourselves again and again and again as that river has taken us into times of change. And the exciting thing about today is that we're in the middle of another one of those transformations of reinventing ourselves.
I love that. Okay, let's switch gears because I only have a few minutes left. I'm taking the liberty, Jeff and the Melka, I'm sorry, production director. Blake mentioned Force for Good, and I've talked a little bit about that. Steve, maybe share a few things with you, and then I have one more question for Sandy to wrap it up. But Steve, what does Force for Good mean to you? Why did we do it, and where are we heading with it?
I think one of the geniuses of the original foundational principles of the company, when I was first talking to Blake and Sandy and others about founding the company, Blake talked about the idea that we're going to be about making money, about creating successful people that can go on and lead successful lives, but we're also going to be about purpose, about doing some good along the way. And that we weren't going to wait until the end of our careers and then see if we can do some good. We're going to have a fraction of every working day be about doing something bigger than just making money. And so one of the things I've really enjoyed about my career is I think I've got 4 million frequent flyer miles, which is puny compared to some of you. But I've spent a lot of time on airplanes sitting next to very successful people. And we have this conversation And they always talk about, so I talk about what we do, what you do, feeding 100,000 kids every morning in Malawi and other places. And they kind of wistfully say, yeah, someday when I retire, we're hoping we can go and, and do something like that too. But today, we really don't do anything like that. And so I'm going to take an extra minute and say, I've come to believe in this principle of time value, the time value of generosity. You know what the time value of money is? That's where you put money in the bank today and let it compound, and 20 years from now, you'll have a lot. And so some people put all of their interest in making money today, but they're not putting anything in the goodwill bank. When you every day contribute some of your working life towards saving children in Africa, well, then 40 years ago, that has multiplied. Those children have grown up and they've helped other people and they've grown great things and they've learned things and they've contributed to their society for 40 years. While other people are thinking, someday I'm going to start doing something like that. You're making a difference in the world today in ways that other people really don't even dream about. And so that NuSkin is about making the world a better place through great products and great opportunity and great people and a great culture, and about donating some of ourselves to a larger world with profound needs is a reason that I love this company. The reason I'll continue to do this as long as I draw breath, because every day we're making a world that's got a lot of soreness to it just a little bit better every day.
Well,
Speaking of that, Steve, I think we have a video to play. So let's fire that video up.
I actually think the question is, how has NuSkin not improved my life? NuSkin has absolutely empowered me with the confidence to show up as my
Video.
ah, qué padre. Yes.
So, Steve, anything to announce here? Well, yeah, we have had a practice in our company for many, many years of taking some of our leaders and going and doing something of an audit, going to Malawi and looking around and making sure that we're keeping our promises there and discovering ways that we can improve our promises there. And it's time that we get back to that. COVID turned that off. Time for us to turn it back on again. And so we want to announce to you that in 2025, we're going back. We want to go back with some of you. We'll give you more details as we get closer to the event. And in today's world, we're gonna have to get a little closer to the event before we can pin down dates and so forth. But in the meantime, there's some things you can do. Go become a chief ambassador today. I tell you, this morning we fed 100,000 people. Now there aren't 100,000 people in this room. To put our kids in a room like this, we'd have to knock down some walls. And if they were here, you would look around and say the most beautiful people in this room are them. These children are just so amazing. And we can do more, we're doing more. And there is such joy and fulfillment that comes from helping these kids, especially after you've looked them in the eye. You know, they say if you've missed the joy, you've missed it all. If you're not contributing a little bit, if you're not a chief ambassador, you're really missing some of the best part of the NuSkin ride. So what's our ask? Our ask is let's all be all in on this too. Let's all go and do that little bit to be chief ambassador.
Yes.
I love that. Okay, Sandy. So let's bring this home. Sandy, you wrote a quote on a notebook in my hotel room. But let me clarify. There was a notebook in my hotel room that there was a quote on it from Sandy. That's the way it is. And it was one of those quotes that I keep in my phone now. As I wrote it down, I read it. And it said, "You are one decision away from a better life."
Wow.
And I've heard you talk about this, Sandy. One decision away from a better life. Can you share your thoughts around why has that become such a compass for you in your life?
Because you see the power of it. You know, I mean, I see it every day in the fact that if I hadn't decided to do certain things in my life wouldn't be as it is. And I love my life. And I think we can all think of that one moment when you made a decision to do something and then did it. And it changed everything. Well, that day when my business went away 42 years ago, I could have said, I'm not doing direct sales ever again. But instead, I made a different decision. And that's the reason why we're all here today. That is powerful. And imagine if I'd have said, no, I'm going to go sit on a beach or go back to doing whatever. You know, it's one decision away from a totally different life. And I made a decision, and Steve, one decision away from a totally different life. You could have been an attorney. Lucky you. But I see every single person in this room as being one decision away from a totally different life. And thank you at this point for choosing NuSkin, because I personally think it was a very good decision.
Okay, well, listen, this is very special time, a special time for me to sit here again together. Thank you for trusting me, trusting our team. We're all in to keep this mission going. As long as you'll have us there, we'll do it. We are all in on this together, but thank you for being the force for good you are in all of our lives.
Thank you to every single one of you that made the energy to come here and the belief in yourself and a NuSkin. And thank you for acting motivated by love and for being a giant force for good. Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you, Ryan. We do trust you.
Ryan.
We love you. And
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our founders. Thank you. You know, sometimes as I'm sitting there going through a management meeting on something, I always think, would Sandy like this or not? In our product meeting, Steve Hatchett's team is persistently, would Sandy like this or not? When we're going through a difficult challenge around our compensation, our incentives, would Steve approve of this or not? When we think about innovation and how we apply things like Rise into here, I think it would Blake like this or not? And what's amazing is I shoot him a quick text and say, do you like this or not? And they'll give me always a line back. So I appreciate their commitment. Okay. Well, we talked about being one decision away from a better life. And I'm excited to introduce two more of our team elites up here to speak with you about their decision to make a better life. So first, we're going to hear from Shirley Shu, who is going to come out and talk with you. Now, Shirley and I met for the first time after I came back from Japan, and I was down at a success trip. And at the time, our management team that said, you have to meet this unbelievable force who is opening up a totally new demographic to our business and renewing growth and momentum in our business. You're going to be blown away by her force, by her power, her magnitude. And in walks Shirley. So you're going to hear from Shirley first. The second team elite we're going to bring up here is Thomas Kogler. And Thomas, yeah, we hear a lot.